Everybody, this is Jeff Veale, the business guru, once again coming to you from downtown Manila. And I've got an awesome guest on the show today, a fellow marketer who really knows his stuff. His name is Daniel Pope, and Daniel is the founder and chief storyteller. It's all about telling stories, guys. And his company is called Be Known, and you all want to be known, don't you? So reach out to Daniel, have a virtual cup of coffee because you don't know what you don't know. And Daniel may know the answer. Have a chat. Cost you nothing to have a virtual cup of coffee, guys. That's how we all grow. He's been in the industry, marketing firm specializing in serving coaches and expertise-driven businesses. Been in this for quite a while, guys, 10 plus years. We're a growth partner for established coaches that sell high-ticket, high-value programs. We specialize in creating lead generation systems in the form of webinars, paid advertising, email marketing, and business systems. And if you haven't got a system, guys, you haven't got anything. It's all about the systems. And you keep working them, keep improving them, right? Key achievements. Brad's financial coaching consulting firm got 3,000, very precise number here. I like this one, 3,004 leads and 318 high quality calls, 1.6 million in revenue over 18 months at a 6 times return on ad spend. The marketing systems we installed have doubled his team's close rate and now generates hundreds of high intent leads every quarter. Another one, Michelle's sales training company made an extra 1.7 million in just 18 months through a well-crafted series of virtual events and automated marketing systems. All about the systems, guys. Dan's dog training. We train people here. Dan's dog training coaching business received 10,500 webinar registrations at a cost of $2.82 per lead, which resulted in 328 new customers. Can't beat that, guys. Personal motto or philosophy: income is simply the byproduct of the impact we create through the value that we provide. Interesting fact about himself: I've run full 4-time marathons. Wow. Over 5 years. Not me. I'm too lazy. Over five. And having never run a day in my life prior to that. So there it is.
Excellent.
Wel-
Excellent.
Welcome to the stage, my friend. Let me get
Oh, thank you.
my little sheet over here, get myself organized.
Yeah.
Tell us about your journey and what inspired you to pursue this interesting and fascinating marketing career. Where did it all?
Yeah. Yeah. So, Jeff, the backstory is I am an IT guy by birth. Truthfully, I cut my teeth on computers and learning about tech and editing videos, and I just have a love for technology. And always knew that I was going to be an entrepreneur, run a business, start a business, that type of stuff. I never knew what. And so the opportunity came across my desk when I was in graduating from college, and it was to start a marketing agency with an old business partner of mine. We were going to do social media posting. Long story short, I quickly realized that likes don't equal dollars for clients.
Yep.
And I shifted into learning copywriting, advertising, the different platforms, thinking like a strategist. I read and learned from some of the greats throughout history, Jay Abraham, like you mentioned, Gary Halbert, Dan Kennedy, even Russell Brunson. And so I've just been through the stepping stones on this journey. And I realized over the past 5 years that what I do is so dependent on tech. So it's the marriage of technology plus marketing that equals the systems that we create. And Jeff, that's why I don't call it a funnel, because everybody has a funnel and it may not work, but we need a system. We need a system that works for us and that we can work until it works for us instead of just a one-off funnel or a web page.
Like it. Tell me, what's been the most challenging aspect of your work and how do you overcome that?
Truthfully, I would say from a personal standpoint, it's been the overthinking. I love details and I love information, but I've been sharpening my axe for the past decade, learning the different
I know.
skills that I just talked about. However, that didn't allow me to build the business. So on one end of the spectrum, I could have just cold call.
Yeah.
of that, of marketing, sales, plus learning and structuring team and operations, that's just been a journey for me. I would say from an outward perspective, something that I talk more about is making sure that I'm working with the right people, making sure that we are surrounding our team and other clients with other great people. So don't let wolves in the hen house is kind of the simple phrase for that.
Yeah, I like that one. That's a good one. I'll steal that. Tell me,
Hey,
tell us an important moment in your career where you pretty much changed direction. What happened?
yeah, I would say there are a few, but one of the most important was going from I'm just a social media poster to then thinking like a true chief marketing officer, or even putting myself in the shoes of the business owner. The business owner cares about what they made, clicks, impressions, that type of stuff. That's cool for us to talk about internally, but the client doesn't want to hear about that stuff. They don't care about it. They care about ROI, return on ad spend, blended ROI, and what they made at the end of the day. So,
Oh,
really putting my thinking cap on there is probably the most profound shift for me.
yeah. Yeah. The money's in the follow-up, guys.
Yeah.
In the systems. Right. In your
Yes.
opinion, what are the key qualities and skills that have helped contribute to your amazing success? What do you believe is
Mm.
behind that?
A few years ago, I would have said that being so detail oriented,
Mhm.
precise, and accurate has pulled me on this path. Nowadays, that still holds true, but Jeff, truthfully, I think it's just the fact that I'm able to talk like a real human, break down complex concepts into clear stories and data, and I just like hanging out with good people. And so I think that really rubs off on any prospect or potential client I talk to. And I've started using that the past year. Look, we're experienced, yes, but you'll also enjoy hanging out with us. We're not hard drivers with things. We're not a-holes. We're not going to sit there and berate you over the head with some things. And the team is all based in North America as well. We have some people in other countries, but it's based in North America. So people just get along with us. And I think that that's a pretty important thing that I've been able to realize. And I realized that by talking to the clients. And this is so important for your listeners. Market research and feedback from buyers is so key. I wouldn't have discovered that unless I truly listened to people saying, Daniel, you're a great team. You got great skills. But honestly, man, we just like hanging out with you and we like talking to you on Zoom. And that's priceless.
Yeah, yeah. All about communication. Communication is a big one, guys. Learn it, and learn to listen. It's not what they
Oh,
say. Sometimes it's what they don't say, right? Um,
yes.
Tell me, Daniel, how do you stay motivated and to continue to innovate in your field? What's the secret?
Yeah. So that's something I don't have a crystal clear answer on, but I will say this, Jeff. When I first started the business, I made it a point to create some core values. So things like transparency, honesty, ethics, and impact, and my team values passionate, authentic, intentional, and devoted, paid, PAID. But on the other side of the coin, I set rules of engagement, meaning I never, and truthfully have never, worked from my bed or my couch. I structure my day in a very normal fashion. I usually start work around 7-ish,
Yep.
8-ish, depends, and then go until 5, 6, not normally later than that. And so I make sure that, that's not an 80-hour work week. So I have to make sure that I'm using leverage and focusing heavily on what are my one things? What do I need to do so that everything else is unnecessary or not needed at that point, redundant. So, the motivation that I have, I would say it comes from getting my fix for helping others that help others.
Yeah.
And there's this flame internally that keeps burning bright. And even though, Jeff, some days we lack that motivation. Some days, man, it's more difficult than others.
Absolutely.
But week over week,
Yeah.
week over week, that flame doesn't go out. So I wish I had a better answer for that, but
No,
that's something I'm
I like it.
discovering in the next chapter of my life.
The real answer. I like it. It's a great answer. Uh,
Thanks.
I had one of those terrible days today, but I always say, hey,
Ah,
tomorrow's a better day. I mean, I had a shitty day, but and I know, and I said, come on, bring it on. It was being piled on, like really. And
yeah.
but, yeah, you go, okay, well, at least it's all going to happen in one day, and tomorrow will be a I haven't unwrapped tomorrow yet. It's going to be a brand new day. It's going to be a great day.
Yep.
Um,
Absolutely.
tell us about a recent project or achievement amongst your many that you're particularly proud of.
I would say it's one of the gentlemen that you talked about in the beginning, Brad. So Brad is a longstanding client of ours. We have been through many iterations and phases alongside him in his business. We started the brand alongside him back in 2020, and I would say that I'm very proud of the work that we've done because it reflects his goals at that time. And so we're not coming in and putting the systems and I dare I say it, funnels that we implement, they're pretty standard. Webinars, VSLs, even book funnels, etc. But it's based on his goals. And so some clients, they're not willing to do X. Some clients are not willing to do Y. But with Brad, I'm very proud of the fact that we've weathered this weird economy since 2020. We've put together some very great offers. And truthfully, those are some old stats. He gets 400 to 500 sales calls on his calendar every single month. And we've helped him structure a sales team of 8 people. They do multiple seven figures per year. That's big for me. But more importantly, it's the impact that he's been able to create. And so when I work with clients, I don't know all of their clients, but I do understand that when Brad has a client, then he consults people through raising capital from non-traditional sources. So when he works with a client, then that client, their project they're raising capital for, could go and build affordable housing communities in big cities. It could go to giving back. It could go to structuring a new business or restaurant that helps feed families or etc. So that's what I'm proud of. And each client, it's very similar to that. Each client's on their own journey, but
Yep.
just a particular example with Brad.
Nice. I like that.
Yeah.
Um, someone a nephew, a niece, or someone you know quite well, a 20-year-old, he comes to you and says, hey, Brad, I've just finished school. I'm not sure what I want to do with myself. What would you tell them? What would your advice to them be moving for them to move forward?
My real advice would
Yep.
be, are you working your butt off to get your name known and get your resume in this example out there? And let's say the scenario is, Daniel, I want to start a marketing agency myself. I would actually go to him and say, all right, let's really narrow down your why. Why is it? Well, I want to be my own boss. I want to make extra money.
Yep.
I would do my hardest to persuade him to find a career, an actual W-2 job for the next 3 to 5 years, cutting his teeth in that
Yeah.
before starting something from scratch. If I don't have any regrets, I think everything happens for a reason. If I had the power to go back in time, though, I
Yep.
would have worked for an established traditional agency to learn their SOPs and systems. I've had to create everything from scratch for the past
Likewise.
decade.
Likewise. Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
I'm,
So,
I'm still doing it. Every
yeah,
couple of days, I'm coming up with something new. Like the podcast, for example, it's got about 9 different parts to it. Now there's about
yeah,
11 parts to it. And then there's a thing
yeah,
like don't forget to thank them at the end. Like send a little thing off. Thank you very much for being on the show. They're
yeah,
all little bits and pieces of the puzzle. So I get
yeah,
it. I get it. It's like a piece of string. It's never finished. You know,
yeah.
it's
That's what I would tell him, Jeff. And I know that's not the sexy entrepreneurial answer, but I believe that not everybody should walk this path. It takes an interesting type of person, a unique person,
yeah,
and they're very far and few between. However, in today's social media climate, everyone wants to be a business owner. And so I think it's an epidemic
Yeah.
that is misleading a lot of people.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's honestly that's what I'd tell them. I'd say, look, cut your teeth. So I spent 4 years in IT, basically full time through college. So that taught me how to have client relations, talk to people, do a lot of things outside of IT. So yeah, that's I would try to dissuade him as best as possible, but at the end of the day, if he's persistent, well, welcome to the club.
Yeah, I'd say go for it, but I'd say get a whatever you're passionate about, follow that for a while. You'll change
Yeah.
it along the way. But I'd say get a mentor. Reach out
Yeah.
reach out to people like Daniel or myself if you want to get into marketing way, and we'll give you some advice, give you some ideas and
Yeah.
things some of the mistakes that we've made. We've made many of them. And
Yeah.
people ask me sometimes, Jeff, what's the secret of your success? And I say, well, I just do lots of shit and I'm right more than I'm wrong. If you're right and you're wrong, you'll make money, right?
Yeah.
You won't be right all the time, and then pivot. Wake up. I read a book once. It took me a long time to wake up this one, but typically I always had three or four things on the go, and it said, "Make your winners into bigger winners. Don't try
Yeah.
and make your losers into winners." And I
Yep.
was what I'd do, I'd make 10 grand over here, and I'd spend another 10 grand trying to fix up the two broken ones.
Yeah.
I was spinning my wheels, making nothing, working my
Yeah.
ass trying to get three going, as opposed
Yeah.
to putting my energy into the one. So, I've been there. I know all about that. It's
Yeah.
just how it is. Um, Looking ahead, you're at base camp at the moment, still climbing the mountain. What are your goals and aspirations for the future, my friend?
So I just turned 30 in August of 2025 to date this podcast. So I understand that this is a new chapter. And over the next 5 years, I am working to aggressively grow my marketing firm, my agency, be known. And I have some different financial plans and whatnot that I put together. So I'm on that path. I am locked in. I'm crystal clear on that. For my
Yeah,
personal side of things, I am continuing with my current relationship with my girlfriend, significant other,
yeah,
and just making sure that I'm giving back to my community here in Knoxville as best as possible. So being a great friend and a great person. For a more aspirational goal, one thing that I've had on my list for a long time is to climb or hike Mount Kilimanjaro.
right, right.
So that's actually the big reason why I started the marathon running. I had my cousin, he's climbed it many times for some reason, and he said, "Daniel, if you can run a marathon, you can climb Kili." So
Right.
in my head, I'm like, "Oh, I just need to do a marathon." Well,
You've done
here
that.
here we here we are years later. So that's it. I'm a simple guy. I don't necessarily want the flashy cars or anything. I love to cook. I want to entertain. I love making people smile. And if that's what I'm accomplishing, then that's it. That's what I need.
You made me think of one of my clients. You're the perfect example of it. And she said to me in the podcast, I nearly fell off my chair. She said, Jeff, I want to tell your audience, be a better human. And I thought,
Yeah.
shit, as
Yeah.
a marketer, I thought straight away, I thought, wow, how cool is that? And I'm thinking, I'll get t-shirts, be a better human. I'll get mugs. I'll go to Africa and start drilling holes in the ground, help them find water, but you can't save the world, but it's a great,
Yeah.
and there it is, guys. Be a better human, you know,
Hmm.
focus on yourself
Yes.
and teach others, but be a better human. And you're on the right track, my friend, very much so.
Yeah. Thank you.
Um, tell our listeners and people watching this wonderful podcast, what's the best way to reach out to you and get some advice and find out about your remarkable services to help them grow their business?
Yeah. So I take all of my calls. I take any call that comes into my business. I'm a big believer in that. I'll do that for the foreseeable future, many years from now, hopefully.
Cool.
So I'm big on looking at a business methodically. So specifically, we work with coaches and expertise-driven business owners. I've created a blueprint, a six-stage coaching business blueprint that I match up with my clients' revenue, what they're currently doing, their team, ad spend, things like that. So, how to find me? My website is beknownonline.com, beknownonline.com. If you Google search Be Known or Be Known LLC, you'll find me. So happy to talk with you about your situation. And this is what I promise. If I can't help you, I'll find somebody who does.
Nice. Yeah, don't forget, guys, with 15 minutes of fame, anyone that comes on the show, you get to tell your story, and we put you across Reddit, Quora, LinkedIn, Facebook, our Facebook group of 6,500 entrepreneurs, and YouTube with all your social media links, potentially putting you in front of hundreds of people. And we turn this whole thing into a mini movie. And if you're clever, and you should be, you'll put this on your email signature, your website. You go on LinkedIn and say, I was interviewed by the business guru, and you'll get yourself out there, right? Amplify it, guys. Get that message out there. That's what it's all about. Wrapping it up before we do, tell us a fun fact about yourself that most people do not know.
You know, I always kind of stumble with this answer. I would say that, you've already mentioned it. Most people don't know that I'm a marathon runner. I don't necessarily talk about it too much because we always know those runners who are always on a runner's high and they're always talking about their next race. I don't bring it up that often. I just make sure that it translates to the work I do, very hard efforts. So I would say another fun fact is I I grew up going to movies all the time, even when I was one. And
Right?
movies are so, so important to me. And the fun fact here is my favorite movie is Charlie and the Chocolate Factory
Right.
because it tells a story of a little boy that couldn't achieve anything at first, but all he did was he found a golden ticket through effort and sheer luck. And then by being a good human, he was able to potentially change the world, but own the factory. So that's the big thing for me. It's fun fact, personal motto. It's like you said, Jeff, be a good human. How can I be a good person to others? And it's not something that people talk about it too much.
Yeah. You reminded me about the movies. My mother worked at what they call this. You probably got it in America, obviously. They're getting cut out now a lot, but drive-in theater where you drive your
Oh
car to
yeah.
movies.
Yep.
Well, she never had a babysitter, so guess
Yeah.
what? I went to the movies, guys. Same
Yeah.
movie, mind you, 5 nights a week. And she'd come out of the
Yeah.
canteen, give me a bag of chips, some lollies, a drink, right? And
Yeah.
if I'd already seen the movie 3 times and I was bored with it, I'd I'd just lay down and go to sleep. But what I remember, I'm only a young impressionable kid, was I saw it for 2 weeks straight. Psycho, right?
Oh man. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, God, I was frightened to have a shower.
Yeah,
Uh,
I bet.
yeah.
That's funny. Yeah, what a movie to show a young kid. Well, how old were you when you saw it?
Oh, 7 or 8, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, so formative years.
Yeah,
That's that's great.
then Jaws. I wouldn't go
Yeah.
swimming. You know, all the classics. But I saw them time and time, and I can tell you almost all the lines, guys, word for word.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it just reminded me of that. I'm sort of, and funny enough, today I'm a movie lover. I invariably, even though I work my ass off, guys, I invariably watch 2 movies a day every day.
Nice.
Every day.
Yeah.
It's a habit and a hobby of mine. I enjoy vegging out, but I must say it's really hard these days to find a good movie. That's the
Yeah,
they're
it
all,
is.
they're all shoot 'em up or whatever. But a good movie with a good story is very hard to find these days. But they're out there. They're classics, guys. So let's respect them and enjoy them. You've been an awesome guest, my friend. Any last words before we wrap it up?
I'm going to reiterate the slogan you talked about in the beginning. And this is something it just hit me upside the head years back. Income is simply the byproduct of the impact we create through the value that we give. If we give no value or if nobody's listening, that's the more important piece. If you have no audience, you
Yep.
cannot create impact. And if you don't create impact, where's the money? So I'll leave someone with that. It's all on a thread.
I use that a lot. I use the Tom Cruise one. Show me the money.
Yep. Show me the money. Oh, yeah.
It's
But
true.
Jeff, this has been great. Thank you.
Likewise, my friend. And guys, if you want your 15 minutes of fame, don't forget, reach out. I want to tell you, you think about this. If you went on my brain freeze at the moment. If you went on a show and pay it's a TV commercial, you pay about $20,000. What happens when the TV commercial comes on? People are hungry. They jump up, they grab a beer, they grab a hot dog, they go to the toilet, they miss the whole darn thing. Okay, so you're going to try something different. 10 radio spots, that's cool. They play the radio spots, they play them at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning when people are asleep, right? But come on, 15 minutes of fame, guys. It's evergreen. We turn the whole thing into a mini movie. It's all about you. And you get the chance to put that all across social media, put it wherever you wish, and you will become famous and people will find out about you. And that's what it's all about. So it's been awesome. Thanks very much for being on the show, Daniel.
Yeah. Thanks, Jeff. Great to see you.